Now, Sheev Palpatine, Darth Sidious, the Emperor, is easily the most powerful villain in the Star Wars universe. Someone whose plans and powers span across the entire universe. They actually span across all three trilogies, starting from episode 1 and then coming back in episode 9. But while the Emperor is tremendously powerful, just how exactly powerful is he? When he's operating at his peak potential and at his best, what's he really capable of? Well, today, that's what we're going to find out. Also, just a note before we get started, two quick things. One, will be using a composite version of Sheev, so including both the Disney canon and the expanded universe and legends. Secondly, there will definitely be spoilers for Rise of Skywalker in this video, so make sure to go see that movie first before watching this video. So with that out of the way, how powerful is Sidious? So just like with the Jedi and Force Valor, Palpatine is a master of the Force ability known as Dark Rage, which is a dark side power enabling him to enhance and increase his physical abilities. As just a mere infant, before he received any training in the Force, he was strong enough to crush his family guard's skull and tear him limb from limb. He's locked sabers with both Darth Maul and Savage Opress simultaneously, both massively strong, and actually managed to laugh throughout it. He's able to deflect blaster bolts from a starship, whereas those same blaster bolts are powerful enough to push Vader backwards when he deflected them. He's able to lift up and injure Darth Vader from Mustafar, and easily lift up cliffs while carrying Vader. And when Leia dropped a cooling unit on top of him, weighing a legitimate ton, he didn't flinch, showing both great strength and durability. The Emperor really just has remarkable durability and pain tolerance, withstanding prolonged exposure to his own Force lightning, sustaining himself in the Force when Plagueis withheld food or water for weeks, or even legitimately tortured him with his lightsaber. And Sidious doesn't even sleep, because Plagueis was killed in his sleep, doesn't want the same thing to happen to him. He's been shot by blaster bolts, withstood multi-story falls, withstood Force outburst from Darth Vader, although he was eventually killed when Rey deflected his Force lightning back towards him. Then, somehow, Sidious survived the fall into the reactor and the destruction of the Death Star. Although, don't know if that's necessarily a pure durability feat, because it might have been through Force powers, Sith cloning experimentation, or some dark side ritual. We really don't know. Then with speed, Sheev's killed 3 Master Jedi in just a matter of seconds. Sidious and Plagueis have taken down whole armies or deflected blaster shots from hundreds of battle droids, and he's routinely moved as nothing more than a blur, or moved too fast for people to see. He's moved too fast for Darth Maul to see, moved too fast for Anakin to see, moved too fast for Leia to see, who were all crazy fast in their own right, and he's been described as a lightsaber tornado, or a cage of pure energy. Emperor Palpatine is also a master fighter and lightsaber duelist, one of the greatest fighters in the entire Star Wars universe, and is proficient in a number of martial arts and lightsaber styles. He's fought against Darth Maul and Savage Opress simultaneously, just absolutely clowned on them. He's battled against and instantly killed multiple Jedi at the same time, managed to evenly duel against both Mace Windu and Yoda. Sidious and Plagueis together had defeated armies of hundreds of warriors, and he's also battled against and beaten Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, with Leia having to aid amp Luke through the use of the Force harmony so they can eventually win over the Emperor. However, while Palpatine is surprisingly physically tough and an extremely skilled duelist, his true power lies in the Force. He's been stated to be the most powerful darkside user. His power actually upsets the balance of the Force. Darth Maul described his presence in the Force as a hypnotizing and terrifying dark sun. Count Dooku sees him as an event horizon, and is actually a legitimate Force nexus. He's learned virtually every application of the Force there is from all different eras. He's consistently gotten more powerful throughout his life, starting from his training under Darth Plagueis, getting more powerful after Plagueis' death, getting even more powerful after his death on Endor and eventual return. In Rise of Skywalker, Sidious even said he had all the power of all the Sith and the dark side dwelling inside of him. And with the Force, Emperor Palpatine has a ton of powers. A whole lot of powers which we've never even seen before. He can do things like Force choke Count Dooku from across the universe through a hologram, or kill Plagueis with a Force choke. Use telekinesis to throw several massive Senate pods at Yoda or bring down a starship, but his signature move is his Force lightning. He uses it to torture Sith apprentices, and even kill Darth Vader. He's overwhelmed Yoda's Force absorption and Luke's Force deflection, and even literally bent Mace Windu's lightsaber. He's killed legions of stormtroopers, burned dark-side prophets to the bone, and in Skywalker, on an ancient Sith planet and showing the power of the Sith, he launched out enough Force lightning to disable and bring down an absolutely massive rebel fleet. He's mentally induced fear and aggression in the minds of Jedi across the galaxy. He's able to use the Force to foresee future events, like that Luke would destroy the Empire, attempt to redeem Vader, that Vader wouldn't succeed in turning him. And he's a master in Force concealment, hiding himself in the Force from thousands of Jedi for over a decade, to the point where he can stand in front of the High Council and they couldn't hook up on his Force power. Palpatine uses battle meditation powers to influence millions of Imperials aboard the Death Star. He uses Force drain ability to siphon the life energies of the 20 billion people on his home world, as well as drain both Rey and Ben and all their combined Force energy. He's able to transfer his essence into another person. He's able to possess anyone, even threatening to possess Luke, and by sheer force of will, is able to turn from the void with no physical host tethering his spirit to the real world. Sidious can even manipulate midichlorians, teaming up with Plagueis to manipulate midichlorians and exercising dominion over the Force in order to imbalance the Force toward the dark side, spreading darkness throughout the galaxy. By doing this, they even accidentally conceived Anakin Skywalker as the Force's response to their defying its will. Finally, Emperor Palpatine is able to create Force storms, the single most destructive Force power ever known, where a Force user tears rifts in space and time, opens up destructive wormholes capable of swallowing whole fleets of spaceships, or tearing off the surfaces of worlds. Darth Sidious also practiced Sith alchemy and Sith sorcery, performing experiments and pushing the boundaries of the Force and of the dark side through both science and magic. He's perfected cloning, altered both living beings and even machines, implanted dreams and controlled spirits, and just so much more. I mean, there's a reason why he's known as the most powerful dark side user ever. He can do just about anything. But that's not all for the great Emperor Palpatine. Being trained by Darth Plagueis, he wasn't just trained to be a simple butcher or just be powerful in the Force. He was trained to be an architect of the future. And in order to succeed at this, Sheev obviously has to be insanely intelligent, manipulative, and a master planner. A lot of his plans spanning across multiple movies, even across the entire saga. He's a political genius with expertise in political science, military, bureaucracy, history, and psychology, and is renowned for his speeches and writings. With his political skill, he will manipulate the political system in order to become Supreme Chancellor, eventually become the Emperor, wielding unprecedented political power throughout the entire galaxy. He was even able to secretly create an entire clone army in order to execute Order 66 and kill the Jedi, and secretly grew in power and trained Darth Maul for years, keeping the rise of the Sith a secret from the Jedi. He succeeded in bringing Count Dooku to the dark side, bringing Anakin to the dark side, and actually brought several other Jedi to the dark side and turned them into an elite Jedi hunting unit. He's enacted the plans of both the Death Star 1 and 2, prepared Operation Cinder, a plan to destroy his enemies in the event of his death, created clones in order to transfer his essence. Then there's the final order. In Rise of Skywalker, it was revealed that Palpatine was the true mastermind behind the First Order. He was the puppet master behind Supreme Leader Snoke, and Snoke was really just created in a test tube by Sidious, and that Palpatine had even been the one to sway Ben Solo to the dark side, speaking to him both as Snoke and his grandfather Darth Vader. Also able to amass the resources and manpower to create a massive fleet of Star Destroyers, all with planet-destroying capabilities. Basically a fleet of mini Death Stars that he'd use to bring about the Final Order and a permanent galactic empire. He even had a separate planet going on the side in order to bring his granddaughter Rey to the dark side, in order for her to become Empress Palpatine and have him and the entirety of the Sith live on inside her. All this was done so that Sith could live on. The Empire would rule forever, and he would finally gain his unlimited power. So, end of the day, just how powerful is Emperor Palpatine? Well, the answer? Insanely powerful. Insanely powerful. He's regarded as the most powerful of the Banite Sith, and really the most powerful dark side user ever to have existed. Even though he's been beaten by Luke and Rey, you can actually make a super strong argument that Emperor Palpatine is the most powerful character in Star Wars, period. With a combination of his physical prowess, nearly unparalleled fighting skill, complete mastery over the Force, and genius level strategic ability, Palpatine is really the best of the best. He's just so powerful, it's not even funny. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, turn on notifications, join the FanCo army, and I will see y'all next time.